So he's the king of Test cricket. He's the king of one-day cricket. He is India's next big thing as far as T20 is concerned. He may show aggression in real life, but he's a cool personality also. You've seen many viral dance videos. Then he's remarked, and there are a lot of people who remark about the amazing strategic planning tendencies that he shows on the field, the way he plans, the strategizing that he does as a batsman, and that results in fantastic strike rates match after match after match. Yes, we are talking about the next big sensation as far as Indian cricket is concerned, Virat Kohli. He spoke exclusively to India Today's consulting editor, sports Boria Majumdar, on life, cricket and more.
What is it with Virat Kohli in a run chase? What happens? I mean, we've all tried to analyze, we've all fallen short of adjectives. So you do it for us.
In a run chase, I think the most important thing for me is to keep in mind what the team needs to achieve in terms of the target to win a game of cricket. For me, victory is the greatest feeling, and that for me is the biggest craving. Milestones along the way obviously feel even much better, but I think the eventual result while chasing, because I know there's a target on the board, and if you achieve that target, it's a victory, and that feeling that I crave, I'm going to be able to achieve that with my teammates.
Virat, how do you come to terms with pressure? Take the Kolkata World T20 for example, 20 for 3, Australia match, 13 and a half asking rate, and suddenly the whole country is like Virat, Virat, Virat. For a young man, how can you deal with such kind of pressure, and what do you do?
Well, to be honest, I've never wanted to be average since I was small.
And you are not, thank goodness.
Even in my club cricket days, I wanted to score the highest number of runs for my team, make the team win the game, and a lot of people really thought that I was really arrogant in the way I played or in the way I carried myself, because they felt this is not normal for a guy to behave like this, or to have that kind of assurance that he can say things to the coach and actually go and do it as well. So a lot of people didn't like it, but I'm glad I didn't change that about myself, because as I said, it's very important to find yourself first, and under pressure situations, as MS also famously in one interview recently said after the Australia game, actually I've read about it, that it's about how you look at a particular situation. You can either look at the glass as half full or half empty. It's a very individual choice. There is nothing that can't be achieved. As far as I see things, you always have a chance to achieve whatever's in front of you. It's just the way you approach it, the kind of energy you put into what you're going to do is what defines the result of the particular things. Even in the most desperate times, something will come to you, naturally. A thought or a mind-changing situation or an incident, and you just wake up the next day feeling a completely different person. And I don't know what happened to me after Sydney. I just, from the moment the test match ended, I just kept telling myself, I've got 8 one-day hundreds at the international level. I am good enough to play test cricket, and no one had to tell me that. I started telling myself that whenever I entered the ground for practice or for the test match. I just kept telling myself that, and that thought came to me very naturally. So yeah, that's when you believe that there is a certain power up there, which if you're honest towards what you're doing, you'll always be shown the way, but you have to make sure that when it comes your way, you actually grab it and you work even harder towards it.
Remember, you can catch this full exclusive interview at 6 p.m. tonight. This evening, in fact, let's quickly go across to Boria Majumdar, who joins us at this moment. Boria, Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, and now India's next big thing as far as cricket is concerned. The key highlights of this particular interview. What do you think was that one big or two big things that Virat Kohli said? And it's amazing, Boria, I don't know whether you noticed this or not. He's got this amazing way of speaking. That aggression that he shows on the field does not reflect in his style of conversation.
Very nicely said, Sanket. Firstly, a very good morning. Let me tell you off camera, and people can watch the full interview and see what has been said on camera. But the interview was fixed for 6 p.m. I generally go a little early for all my interviews. I was there by 5:35 and messaged Virat saying, I'm there, come at 6 p.m. And he said, do you want me to come early? And I was like, no, it's a 6 p.m. time, come at 6 p.m. 10 to 6, he writes to me, I'll be there exactly in 10 minutes. I'm getting security assembled. And I'm thinking to myself, here is one man, 27 years old, who has to assemble security to walk down from his hotel room to a boardroom to do an interview. 5 to 6, he messages me, please get everything ready. I'm on my way. I'll see you soon. There won't be a delay. Look at it, and which other sports person in a matter of 20 minutes messaging you every 5 minutes saying I'll be there on time, don't worry. Then he comes, he asks me, do you want to go live? And I'm like, no, I'll record. He said, if you want to go live, please do, because I had promised you this, let's talk where. I mean, off camera, it was incredible that the way this fellow handles himself. And then when I asked him, I mean, do you have a private life? He said, my private life is my hotel room, because I cannot, I'm a private person, I'm socially, I don't want attention, but I can't go to a restaurant and have a meal. I can't go anywhere. You know, people will come, if I sign 10 autographs, there'll be 300 more, and I will feel that why didn't I sign those 300? It's a different level of adulation. Look at the comparison answers with Tendulkar. Pressure, how he handled the West Indies loss, what he thinks of cricket, what he thinks of captaincy, what are his aspirations. And the final statement, Sanket, that he wants to be a monk in a civil society. He wants to be attached yet detached. Tells you that this is quite a philosopher, a philosophical person rather, a philosopher at work who does brilliantly on his craft. His canvas is a billion people. And we keep putting pressure, but thank goodness he keeps delivering.
Absolutely, Boria, absolutely. And these were the hallmarks of someone like Sachin Tendulkar also. I remember you keep telling me of the famous words that Sachin Tendulkar told you, that the day you start or stop feeling your heart pumping or goosebumps, then perhaps you're overconfident. Perhaps these same traits one can see in Virat Kohli also, because I could see those hints of that similar conversation. Virat Kohli also saying pretty much the same things in your conversation. Let's listen into what Virat Kohli said about Sachin Tendulkar and this constant comparison.
One thing I must ask you, I mean, being Sachin's biographer, I must, and I know the two of you share an incredible bond. How is it being compared to Sachin Tendulkar? Everyone's comparing. All of us have done it.
I honestly, I feel very embarrassed. It's not fair on him. Honestly, he can't be compared to anyone. Is my opinion. It's not fair at all, because you're talking about batsmen of different caliber and a different category altogether. My game has been strengthened over the years. He was someone who, was born with something which was so magnificent, and to do it for 24 years, it's not a joke. I have only done well for 2 years now, 3 years, and comparisons are not even, they're not valid in terms of, in my head, they're not valid at all. I've looked up to him. I've always been inspired by him, but at the same time, I want to be myself. I want to be an individual that is obviously inspired by Sachin Tendulkar, but who wants to create his own path. Not in a way that I'm saying that I don't like it, or it's not fair on him, because we have looked up to him, and you can't compare someone who has looked up to his idol actually being compared in the same bracket. He's a level, 2 levels above anyone else playing in this generation, and you can't compare at all. 100 international hundreds. We all as batsmen understand how difficult it is to get 2 or 3 in a row. To get 100 over a period of 24 years, I mean, those numbers, even by talking about them, you feel tired. And to do that with such grace and mesmerizing the whole country and people all around the world, and captivating everyone's emotions and attention every time he scored 100. I think everyone looked forward to every 100 that he scored. That is unheard of. That is something you can't compare to anyone.
I asked Sachin Tendulkar before I started this interview that what is your take on Virat Kohli, and he said he keeps it simple.
I always give my 120% on each ball, even in a test match. If it's the 88th over of the day, if there's a stop to be made, I'll go for it, because I understand the importance of this particular sport in my life. I understand and I remember the times that I've seen when I was young, trying to make a breakthrough into international cricket. And you should never forget those times and those struggles. And as they say, you should never forget where you come from. So that thing is always, I think it's in my subconscious. It's something that I don't have to think about. Maybe that's the reason that pushes me, every time that I do anything on the field, to give my absolute best that I can. And it doesn't matter if I've scored runs or I haven't. Unless my body doesn't break down, till the time I'm fit and fine and running around, I will give my 120%. Well, that's very humbling for you to say that.
How is it being compared to Sachin Tendulkar?
He can't be compared to anyone, is my opinion. A lot of people really thought that I was really arrogant in the way I played. Till the time I'm fit and fine and running around, I will give my 120%. To come to the coffee shop for breakfast also, I need to think 5 times before making a decision, should I go or should I not. Regularly when I go into plays, is check my heart rate, where it is. If it's not beating fast, then I know, okay fine, I'm still in that good space.